a quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold, episode 103 of our ongoing series, our ongoing production of the Abomination Vaults Adventure Path, published by Paizo Publishing. Our show is called The Roots of Ruin. My name is called Lars Casteen, and I am joined today
and I'm definitely not a robot version
I am
of
not.
Lars.
Lars GPT.
Lars GPT.
Oh, God.
Do I like that or do I not like that? Do I want a robot to take my place in the world? Or no, I don't.
No.
I don't want that.
No,
okay.
you don't. No. Would it do
really?
an
I'd
okay
sign up
job
for
such
that.
that you could
Like-
hang out? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but someone could always hack into him then. Make him do nefarious
And then
things.
I'm known as Death Robot Matt Humphreys. It's a win-win, right?
Wait,
there.
you're going to have a death robot? You're going to
Well,
have
when-
a vengeful
hack.
sort of T1000
Yeah, when I-
getting out there?
I for one welcome my Death Robot overlord.
Well, I, for one, welcome everybody else to this call. That's our Matt Humphreys to start off with.
Hello. Good that time.
Hello. Good that time to you. Zoe Chernicoff is here as well.
Hello. Good that time to all of you.
Good that time to all of us. Agreed. David, the Tin Man Chernicoff, is here.
Good that time. I'm ready to be
Sedated, the famous Ramones song. That's not exactly the words to the song.
24 hours to go.
I'm ready to be.
Sedated.
Sorry,
Please
David.
give me sedation.
What were you going to say, David?
No, this is better than
Oh, this is better.
Say.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And Robin Lange is here as well.
Two things.
Okay.
Well, I guess three things. First off, good that time.
Yep.
Second
One
off,
down.
every time you give the number of the episode, it blows my mind how many we've done.
I
Like
know.
103 is just such a big number.
I know.
And three, I actually just had to go to a meeting today, a faculty meeting about how we're like using or not using, or kids are messing around with ChatGPT at school.
Oh,
It does.
yeah, I'm
It definitely
sure.
seems like something you need to have a policy about, but it also seems like something that you will never come up with the correct policy about. Like how.
Fact.
Lars,
Yep.
that applies not only to Robin's school, but to the entire world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
It was a meeting for middle school and high school teachers.
Yeah.
And there was a good division of the teachers there, generally who weren't English teachers, who were like, I don't see the problem with this. If the kids are the ones coming up with with the questions that generate the response, then it's their work anyway.
And that's
What?
Congress right now.
Look, I don't know these people, but that's not a thoughtful take.
Wow.
I just
Fascinating.
incidentally
I'm gobsmacked. Yeah. Sorry, Armin. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, as per this discussion, I finally caught up on our Hoot channel and I saw that AI generated pizza commercial. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
blew
Oh yeah.
my
I haven't watched
fucking
that
mind with how
Yeah.
funny that was.
So for those of you
Yeah.
who don't know, around a month before you heard this, there was a viral video of a AI like written and AI image generated pizza commercial. What was your response to it, Armat?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I don't know that it was intended to be as such, but if you'd put that as an SNL digital short, I would have been rolling on the floor.
So here's the thing, Armat. I totally agree with you. And seeing that specific video made me realize that, like, a lot of really good parody involves, like, taking something and dragging it into the uncanny valley.
What a
Yes.
smart thing. That's like the
Wow.
smartest shit I've heard all day.
Okay, when I thought that's the smartest shit I've thought all day. But that's kind of what it is. It's like taking the conventions and like the expectations
Right,
and just knocking them off of where like
a real, actual, like supple human mind would render them into a kind of more automated and like rigid rendering of them, which is exactly what the AI does. And there's like a really old book on the theory of humor that's all about how things are funny when they're overly mechanical. Like the whole thing just completely blew my mind.
Have any of you actually seen, and you're going to laugh at me for this, the movie, the new Chip and Dale movie?
I haven't seen it. I have not seen it.
It's shockingly good, and it's in the same kind of concept of universe as Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Where there's like cartoon creatures,
where cartoons are alive and real, and they kind of live in their own like section of society. Different plot, but same. Like when I say same universe, and like they all have, there's sections of town where the cartoons live, and there actually is a whole plot line around the section of town called Uncanny Valley, and it's the weirdest 10 minutes you will ever watch.
Yeah.
Well, now I want to see it. My exposure.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, my main exposure to that movie is that my 6-year-old niece saw it and described it as the scariest thing she had ever seen in her life.
Yeah, because it's actually good. It's not really designed for little kids. It's designed for us who actually watch Chip and Dale as kids.
What are they doing over there on Disney? How is my 6-year-old niece supposed to know that? Right?
It's like the Barbie movie. The Barbie movie was not made for little girls. It is made for millennials, us.
I feel like the Barbie movie isn't meant to be for kids, whereas I feel like the Chip and Dale one is. Like I know that we're saying none of them are.
Yeah.
But I feel like the marketing on the Barbie movie is like, this is a Greta Gerwig satire.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, it's going to be brilliant. My friend worked
Whereas
on it.
I don't feel like, and I
have.
haven't seen much marketing for the Chip and Dale movie, so I'm kind of guessing here. I don't feel like the marketing on that one is, this is a Greta Gerwig satire.
Let's see, Chip and Dale. What was the rating?
I'm really excited to see this movie now. Like it was directed by
John Mulaney as Chip and Andy Samberg as Dale.
Right.
And the movie's PG, so it's not for a 6-year-old.
Directed by Akiva Schaffer from The Lonely Island. Who also directed the awesome movie Pop Star Never Stop Never Stopping.
I love that movie. It's so funny.
This is one of those
a shockingly good movie
where the sheer amount of, I mean, partly I think there's like I don't know if this went direct to theaters. I assume it was at least like just the sheer amount of
Disney
content. Okay, but like we have Disney Plus, we have small children. This didn't even register with me. Like there's just too much content now.
Well, that's for sure. That's absolutely for sure. By the way, thank you everybody for listening to episode 103 of our Pathfinder actual
Is there
play
irony?
podcast.
Sure.
Yeah, and Lars, how far through our adventure would you say we are? A quarter?
Oh no, we're
sixth,
halfway down on this.
Okay.
I mean, I don't
Right.
want to spoil. I mean, I guess it's not really spoilers.
I'm just
You
trying
know
to
that
figure
we're
out-
like midway through book 2, so it's a 3-book.
I'm just trying to figure out
deal.
exactly how much excess content we're prepared to
How much time how much of your time can we waste?
to blast into the world. Every single
How much
person
time
in the
do they
Chip and Dale
have?
movie is famous. This is wild.
It turns out that being famous is a great way to get cast in a movie.
And obviously putting famous people in a movie like this, because it increases the chances that people like us will be like, "Whoa, what the heck? I'll check that out."
Well, it sounds like a real swing and a miss for them on this one, because you didn't even know this existed until roughly 3.5 minutes ago.
You're welcome.
Sure.
You're welcome,
You're welcome.
Robin. You've done a service. And see,
Yeah.
here's what's great
Are
about
you on
podcasting.
commission?
Are you being paid by Chip and Dale for this?
Potential future sponsor.
Oh my gosh, if I was
Chip and
getting
Dale
Disney money, I would
Rangers.
not fucking be here.
The Chip and Dale MLM
Got that
is
Chip and Dale money.
Well, that was fun. But here's what I was going to say. 2 out of 5 of us have just been informed of the Chip and Dale's movie and are maybe going to be interested in watching it. Just think about how much of our audience maybe is going to get something out of that, right? Isn't that a valuable service that we create through podcasting?
Are you going to suggest
Oh, yeah.
that they should go on the podcast app of their choice and rate and review the Chip and Dale's movie, but for our podcast?
It's really
Ooh, I
funny
like
that you say
that.
that. Here's what I want you to do, everybody. Go onto the podcast app of your choice and make sure you write a 5-star review of the Chip and Dale movie.
Yeah.
For us, please.
Whether or not you liked it.
Yes,
5
whether or not
stars.
you liked the Chip and Dale movie, it's a 5-star movie and it's for us.
Right. The stars are mandatory. The review can be honest.
Also, who would you cast each of us as? Include that.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
like
That's sort of a
that.
hybrid. I love it.
Yeah, there's a lot. going on
Speaking
there.
of hybrids, the review that I want to read this week was written by an AI, not by a person. So everything ties together. The last time
On
we asked
theme.
our listeners to do disruptive and idiotic things on podcast review platforms, we asked them to do AI reviews. And here's a review posted by Space Robot on Podcast Addict. The following review is absolutely written by a normal human and not a robot or AI. Tabletop Gold is the perfect podcast for anyone who loves Pathfinder 2e and actual play. The cast is funny, dynamic, and keeps you engaged from start to finish. They bring a unique energy and humor to each episode that makes it a joy to listen to. If you're a fan of tabletop RPGs, then Tabletop Gold is a must-listen! ! So thank you,
These
ChatGPT,
chat
for
bots
that.
are getting
review.
really, really accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that was generated by a computer, but I do somewhat feel like it does make me feel good that the computer seems to have at least imagined that somebody would like us in such a complimentary way.
Yeah.
Oh.
So thanks to Space
I, for
Robot
one-
for
Thanks, computer overlord.
yes, thank you,
Yeah,
computer.
exactly,
Yes.
Robin.
Thank you.
Mind
Let's play our game. Ever since Isthanavel Valis, or Isthan, joined the group to find the site of his father's death within the Abomination vaults, it's been difficult. Whether due to personality clashes or plain old bad luck, at every turn, Isthan's attempts to befriend and aid you on your quest have ended poorly. These poor results most recently came to a head when, in a fight against a trio of devils here on the 6th floor below Gauntlet, Isthan became so miserably confused that he started attacking the rest of you. Now, his confusion receding, you're left to untangle the mysteries surrounding the strange worm-like Sugathis that call this floor home, as well as the mystery of how to make this new relationship work. It's fun. I don't know.
Well, when you put it like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
That was a great intro. Thank you.
that really was.
Mhm.
So we're picking up just
could you
moments.
could you repeat it all?
So we're picking up just moments after Isthan has snapped out of it. The four of you are standing at the threshold of a torture chamber, a little slice of hell that the devils who called this room home made into something that they're more comfortable with. Inside of this torture chamber, there are racks of weapons. There's a table with spikes coming out of it. There's an Iron Maiden, and there is blood covering every surface. So it's a sort of disquieting ambiance for this moment when Isthan first comes back into control of his body. Isthan is badly injured. He's been beat up badly by his friends. The rest of you are maybe having difficulty recovering from this combat. So the first thing that Isthan would feel would probably be pain.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right in the ribs. And what happened to all the giant rats that were running around? You know, there were these gargantuan things, really nasty teeth. I thought if I could just figure out how many there were and really pin it down, but then they turned into squirrels?
Yeah, weirdly enough, you actually knocked out all of the rats in your confusion.
I was confused.
You don't remember? Yes! You were useless! And Troll's actually getting kind of annoyed with him now.
You were worse than useless. You were fighting them, and then you were fighting us.
I did... What? Oh, God. Oh, the shocking grasp must have backfired and scrambled my brain. I thought you were the giant rats I was swinging at. Oh,
Isthan.
I am sorry. Truly. You've probably figured this out by now, but I'm not the world's greatest adventurer. Spoiler alert. End of story. Didn't work out. I'm so sorry. Each of you. Did I hurt any of you?
Mag took a lot of hits. Yeah, Mag
yeah,
took
I know I
some
did.
hits.
Did he also get everybody else?
Yeah, I think you took a swipe at me.
And
It's hard to remember. There was a lot going on.
But the last few minutes were really, to me, listening back to what we recorded last week.
yeah, it was just me and Iston wailing on each other
it was
for a while.
just a knockdown fist fight between the two of them.
Yeah, and we had to knock the sense back into you. That's why you're bleeding so much. Mag had to beat you. Nothing happened till I finally kicked you in the shin.
Oh, well. That actually explains a lot about the pain I'm feeling. Rats I anticipated would have had more like bitey pain, and this is more like I think you got a rib.
More of a brawler pain.
Exactly. Sort of post-bar fight pain,
Mag, if you could crack your knuckles with your whole body, Mag would do that.
Ao's head has been whipping between everyone, and she is anxious to get on and find the Sagathi. So, in an effort to move things along, she turns into Norman, and she's like, "Well, come on, everyone! I mean, who amongst us hasn't turned on the party and done something to their own self-advantage? Let's get you patched up, bud." And she takes our, he now Norman takes out his medical kit and starts trying to get Iston's wounds treated.
And keep in mind you have the ward medic feat, so you can heal 2 people with 1 treat wounds.
While Norman starts working on Iston, before Norman even suggests anything, Trill's going to actually start wandering around this room, because she's also going to have to get a focus point soon anyway. And is looking to see what's in here. Just kind of doing some investigating.
So let's figure out how much time you're investigating by resolving these medicine checks. Ao, how are you doing on, or how's Norman doing on these attempts to heal people?
First go round, because Norman is fairly hurt as well. Got some points back from Trill's Soothe before, but is still at about half power. 21, so a success. Did a DC 20 for the first check to try and heal faster. And that was a terrible roll then for 12 points of healing for both Iston and Norman.
Yeah, you rolled snake eyes on a pair of D8s. Having difficulty getting these infernal wounds treated at first. So let's keep going and see how many of these you want to do before you want to move on.
And as Ao is doing that, Iston will sort of lean into Mag and say, "Mag, I'm really sorry. I was being condescending and rude. It was out of line. I'm sorry. But if you ever want to come visit Absalom, you should. It's just a couple hours away, and I could show you around. My mum and my nan are still there, and I could, we could do dinner. Or not,
Iston, what I'm about to say, I mean in no spirit of condescension. I would love to visit Absalom someday. And if we don't succeed in this task here, if we don't grasp the gravity of what we face, there may not be an Absalom to visit. Now, you and I, we just met. I don't know you from the next half-elf at the tavern. So I probably should do my best not to jump to any conclusions, but Iston, I have not seen from you anything that suggests to me you are grasping the seriousness of what we are doing here. So sure, I'd be happy to have dinner with you someday if we make it out of here alive.
I hear you. And in truth, I think I probably did underestimate what you've been going through here. I've fought the undead before, but any number of times, loads of times. Let me tell you about, I'll save that for another occasion, but it's different here. There's something darker. And I've certainly never fought a devil before. I mean, that was kind of brilliant. I mean, did you see his beard? It was all aggressive and evil. Sorry, I'm getting carried away, but
Trill's ears keep perking up throughout his little speech. They're thinking, as she's noticing, wait, did he just catch himself and stop his rambling?
And what is that if not growth, right?
That's growth right
Yeah.
there.
So
Yeah, that's major character growth.
So you guys have discovered the ultimate hack of this game, which is if I ask for treat wounds checks and then you start role playing a bunch, I lose track of what the hell's going on with the treat wounds checks happening in the background. If you don't listen to me when I ask for checks, you just get whatever you want. So I'm going to say that that's about 40 minutes of healing before everybody's healed up as AO continues, as Norman continues tending to everybody's wounds.
Thank you.
Love it.
So during those 40 minutes, Trill starts investigating the room. And let me give you a sense of what it is that Trill sees here.
It's kind of like lay on hands, except instead of lay on hands, it's like lay on roleplay, lay on scene.
Yeah.
Lay on the drama.
scenery.
Yeah, lay on drama, and then when we do that, everybody's healed. in 40
Everyone's
minutes.
recovered. So Trill, during those 40 minutes of quiet sort of coming to terms between Mag and Isthan, stone walls, blood covering them, I mentioned. Iron Maiden in one corner, metal table bristling with nails in another corner, and weapon racks around the northern sides of the room. The weapon being held by the fallen bearded devil, the Stragaz, the Barbazu. Anybody here who's trained in religion would know this. The weapons that
trained in religion.
So you would look at the
Some is
glaive
too.
that that Stragaz dropped, and you would know that this is what's called a hell-forged glaive. It's a weapon forged in the depths of hell that gains sinister powers from that.
Ooh, that sounds dark.
In the hands of devils, they're formidable. They do more damage. They cut deeply. They cut these horrible wounds that two of you were afflicted with. But you also know that this is not something that's going to sell for any particularly large amount of money above ground. This is not something that shopkeepers are interested in purchasing. Because it's a glaive, it's a rusted, blood-soaked glaive from hell. Do you get what I'm saying? Am I painting a picture here?
It's a nasty weapon that no one except devils want.
Yeah, no one wants it. However, it does seem as though there are potentially a couple of weapons on and other items on these weapon racks to the northern side of the room catch Trill's eye and seem like they're potentially useful or worth something at the very least.
Trill investigates.
There are a couple glaives that you see. Trill does a once-over. You've seen this sort of thing enough. You know that this is a +1 glaive, a basic enchanted magical glaive. Nothing super fancy about it.
Can I ask you some questions about this glaive?
Sure.
Can it slash?
Yeah. Let me tell you
Can it
about
pierce?
glaives. Well, here's what glaives do.
Can it slash and pierce? Because right now I can't do either of those things.
So here's the deal with glaives. Glaives have reach, which means that you can hit from 10 feet away.
Yeah.
They're forceful, which means that if you attack the same thing multiple times on your turn, you do more damage with it.
Oh ho.
It's got deadly D8, which means that when you crit with it, you roll an additional D8 on that crit.
You love to hear it.
You love to hear it. This is a +1 glaive, not a +1 striking glaive. But if Mag is interested in it, you're able to slip one of them onto your very person.
Ooh.
Mag so slips.
Okay. There's also there's another +1 glaive. Does anybody want that, or is that going into the bag?
Isthan?
He's all staff, basically. All of his skills revolve around using a staff, so
He's got that sickness for the staff, that staff infection he's got.
Wow.
sickness
there
for
it
the
is.
stick-
Infection.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was way better.
Norman takes it just because he hasn't been encumbered for an entire episode, having finally stored his
Re-encumber
lantern as he
Norman.
needs to be.
Okay.
No, into the
Yes.
bag.
Into the bag. You also find a strange-looking kukri. A kukri, of course, you know, is an agile finesse weapon. And if anybody wants to try to identify this, you can use any of the magical deals. I'm going to say that Trill finds this while you guys are healing. So Trill's going to get first crack at it.
Yeah.
If she would like
Kukri
to.
also for gnomes?
I don't know. Is Kukri a gnome thing? I'm not sure.
Of gnomes?
Kukri sounds to me like a kid's sugary cereal. Is that what it is?
It's actually I believe, Nepalese knife. There were many stories about the Gurkhas using them. And actually, the Gurkhas are like of particular note in British colonial lore, I believe, because there's like a saying that like, no man can say he has no fear unless that man is a Gurkha. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, that description of this weapon seems apt, as Trill identifies this as something called a bloodletting kukri.
Ooh.
It's a +1 striking kukri. A kukri will roll a d6 of slashing damage. It's a light weapon. It's a specific item. It's not like a runed up item. This is an item with a specific magical feature to it. It's a crimson blade that shimmers eerily in bright light. On a critical hit, the kukri deals a d8 bleed damage. And if you are giving that creature bleed damage for the first time, you heal back some temporary hit points. So it's a kukri that slices into something, absorbs the blood, and channels it back into your body.
Interesting. You know, I just looked it up because I remembered reading about something when I was whenever I'm looking into gnome stuff. I think it's a feat that I'd have to take, but the gnome weapon familiarity gives gnomes makes gnomes trained in glaive and kukri.
Turns out these devils were gnomes, guys.
But I don't have weapon familiarity. I'd have to retrain. I still kind of want it.
Yeah, that's a dope weapon.
And I want to get Trill to be able to use more than... I would love Trill to... I know she's so magic focused, but wouldn't it be great if Trill could actually, like, do some physical damage?
Istin is very grateful you did not have this to use against him while he was confused.
Instead of just the loot.
I'm going to say one thing. This is sort of opening up a can of worms that we don't need to get into, but let's get into it. Paizo announced over the last week that they're releasing these remaster editions of the Pathfinder 2e books. There's not a ton of reason to get into why it is that they're doing that, but they're making a few mechanical changes. One of the mechanical changes that they're making is that rogues are getting access to all martial weapons. That's an announcement that they made. That book's coming out in November. I'm happy to roll that rules change into our game right this second. So if Ao or Norman want to use this kukri, that's also potentially an option.
Sure. If no one wants it,
I mean, Trill can't technically really use it at this moment, as far as I know, right, Lars?
Yes, they have. There wasn't a live stream where Logan Bonner said also bards. I'm like going on like the thinnest of reasons for letting this happen, but yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy to let Ao take this, or Norman at this moment.
Yeah, that's a viper fang. And he sort of holds it up at the light and twists it and kind of, yeah, I could take a bite out of someone with this.
So the next thing that Trill finds...
I can't believe you just let me get away with that. I just got a bite attack.
Yeah, you got a bite attack. You got a...
Yeah, there we go. All right, well, it's
Sure.
anticlimactic. Fine, sure.
Sorry. Zoe, this has always meant more to you than it has to me. I don't know if that's clear.
Well, it is now.
It is now. Okay, good. The next thing that Trill finds on these weapon racks are a strange flask of a fizzling green liquid. And if you want to try to identify this is going to be a crafting check. This looks alchemical in nature.
Hey, Mag, you want to take a look at this?
Yes.
She'll bring it over to Mag.
Mag takes a look.
So, David, if you want to give me a crafting check, you can do that. The check in the chat will work.
Yep.
Okay. So it's only because of the crafter's eyepiece that Mag is wearing that she's able to identify this as a moderate acid flask. You throw it. It burns whatever it lands into and does splash damage and persistent damage. It does a little bit of acid damage, but it coats what it hits and eats into what it is. So it's 3 flasks of powerful acid.
Ooh.
That Mag is holding in her hands.
Well, rogues get martial now, right? Which
Wait a
means
minute.
bombs
No. My
can
precious
go to
game
AO.
balance. Yeah, this is an alchemical bomb. It's martial. So according to this rule that we have just given to Zoe, you can also throw these if you're interested.
I'll take that. I'll throw that at someone. I'll throw that at a Sugathi. We've got to find the Sugathi. Norman gets distracted.
Norman, now armed to the teeth.
Yeah, really.
To the teeth.
The teeth, armed to the biting attack having teeth. The next thing that Trill finds is a strangely cold to the touch breastplate.
That already sounds too heavy for her.
Trill tries to pick this thing up. It's absurdly heavy.
Hey, Mag. Hey, Mag.
Mag still got her eyepiece in, and she's looking at the alchemical bomb.
That's true. If somebody else would like to look at this while Mag is checking out the alchemical bomb, you can give me one of these checks.
I mean, Trill's still there.
So Trill's taking a look at it. Trill, as Mag is identifying these bombs, recognizes this item as a very, very nice piece of armor. This is a +1 breastplate made of cold iron. Cold iron is a metal that is like anathema to fey creatures. So Trill, as she touches this, it probably burns her hands a little bit because she herself is fey.
Yeah. Isn't cold irons also, if you have a sword of cold iron, doesn't that also fight ghosts?
I don't know. Maybe there might be some ghost.
I think there was something else with cold iron that like responds to it.
The deal with cold iron armor is a creature with a weakness to cold iron, which is usually demons and fey, that critically fails an unarmed attack against a creature in a cold iron armor becomes sickened 1. They hit you so badly that they become drained of energy and they have to retch because having this cold iron in their system makes them ill.
That's awesome.
Well, I don't like this armor. This like hurts to touch. Am I the only one who feels this way?
Not causing any issue for me.
Must be what's made out of. Ugh. I mean, if you want it, take it, but I don't know if you'll be able to put me in your pouch anymore, getting that close to that stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem advantageous to be wearing something that would make Trill fall ill if we were like to graze against one another.
Mechanically, Trill does not have a weakness to cold iron, so it will not technically affect her if we want to go by
Okay. This is just flavor.
This is flavor, yeah.
It's flavor. It's flavor.
But it was
illness.
such great flavor that I think
Flavor
it's
barf.
good that we're dwelling in it.
Trill's very proud of her Fey ancestry. She doesn't talk about it a lot, but it's there. She loves it.
All right, so Mag will unhook her current breastplate and put it in the bag of holding,
Under B for breastplate.
and put on the new one.
All right.
And Lars, is Mag encumbered now that she's got the new breastplate and the glaive? Do I need to?
Yeah, you need to stow something. You need to stow a little bit of something, yes.
All right, so I guess this set of healer's tools can go in the bag of holding.
Okay. Maybe a little bit of something else?
The dagger of venom can go in the bag of holding.
Oh, wait. I have a question.
Please. I insist
Oh, wait,
that you
no, never
ask
mind.
it.
Well, I'm just so back and forth with like Trill's kind of very few martial capabilities. It's like Trill has a dagger right now, but if no one's using the dagger of venom, it would make sense for Trill to have that rather than her +0 dagger.
Of course it would. All right, so you guys start shuffling daggers, doing a little D-shuff over here.
Yeah, when Mag gives it to Trill, she asks, Trilphus, keep this close. This is more than just a weapon. It's a part of our town's heritage.
Oh, this is important. Don't you worry.
And Trill, like the darkness in Trill, gets a little excited at this idea of venom.
So as Trill gets that dagger of venom, that is right around when the last little bit of healing from Norman wraps up. And now you're standing in this torture chamber that has been used as a potentially a home away from home for these devils here on this floor. But you don't get the sense that there's much else of interest here.
There's no writing or no hidden drawers with pieces of paper in it or anything.
You don't find anything like that, no.
Alas, that infernal isn't coming in handy yet.
You did have a cool moment where you said infernal stuff to Stray Gas, though.
Yeah.
That's got to be
true.
worth something.
That's true.
A hero point, maybe?
You already
do
have
you-
all the
do you
hero
need
points.
more?
Look here.
This hero point jockeying will not stand.
That's a jockey point.
You keep that up and you're going to end up with another hero point. Lars, what time is it?
It's around 5:40 in the afternoon.
All right. Mag snacks.
It's tea time.
I guess it's probably not time to go get some sleep for the night quite yet.
No, and I think Norman has gotten quite impatient as all of this is like once everyone's healed, he's like, all right, and switches back into AO. Come on, guys, we got to end this. These guys were just a distraction. Istin got distracted, I got hurt, but this isn't what we're here for. We're here to end the process.
Okay. I'm getting a little tired, but if you want to keep going, Ao, I got your back.
And she turns and she looks at Trill like oddly intensely. Tired? Is someone trying to remove you from yourself, Trill? Pull it together. This is important.
I mean, I'm almost out of magic.
Not interested, Trill. She walks down the hallway.
Mag follows after her, and with the sole purpose of just making sure that she heads past the double doors to the right marked with the X and doesn't just kind of, heedlessly wander into the arena with the Shanrigal behemoth.
Yeah, I think she's not interested in that. There was no indication that the Sagathi were right there. She doesn't care about that thing right now. So she goes back up the long hallway the way that we came.
So you continue up this northern hallway about 50 feet, and you're back in the strange pentagonal room with stairs leading down where you faced the flesh-warped nightmare monster known as an Urnacurse. In addition to the stairs leading down, in this shackle-filled room, there's the doorway that you came through, leading off to the east. As you approach that eastern doorway, you smell the smell of stale beer fills your nose as you note that you are again approaching the site of the Warped Brew Tavern.
There's doors to the north in the hallway that leads off to the east to the tavern, right?
That's right. A short way past into this hallway, as you approach the tavern, there is a set of double doors leading off to the north.
Maybe they're up here. I mean, we know that they came to get people from the bar. I feel like they can't be far. Mag, can you open it?
And Mag taps Istin lightly on the breastplate and gestures for him to join to her right in front of the other door. She gives him a somewhat penetrating look and says, "Together this time?"
Leon?
And Mag and Istin open those two doors simultaneously.
As you open those doors, the light from Mag's Wayfinder illuminates another 10-foot wide hallway leading off to the north. Just at the edges of Mag's light, there's a double door leading off to the west. And as Mag and Ao creep forward to approach that double door, you get the sense that this hallway opens up into a larger chamber a few feet past that western door.
So should we stop at the double door or keep going into the big room, guys? What does Ao want to do?
I think she stops and listens at the double door to see if she can hear anything.
Okay, Ao starts scouting for things on the other side of the door. She just hears a faint sort of like sizzling sound, like a
Sometimes the worst parts of the process are the quiet ones. Mag, open it up.
And as you open the door, is Ao still scouting, or is she shifting back to avoiding notice?
She's now hiding.
All right, Mag opens it up.
Mag pushes the door open, and you step into a sort of eerie room.
Unlike the rest of this place, which has been welcoming, friendly.
Very cozy.
There are metal shelves and operating tables that give you a hint at this room's original purpose. However, the floor of the room is covered with clean bones and little bits of rusted metal that are in piles throughout the rest of the room between these operating tables. And you notice something as you step into the room. There's a puddle of sort of like a yellowish, greenish, brownish something or other at the far end of the room, just at the edges of the light of the Wayfinder.
Mag will take just a step or two forward, enough to try to cast some light on whatever that is at the far end of the room.
Don't touch it. Hold on. And Ao sends her mage hound out to see if she can poke at it.
So as Ao's mage hand floats across the room towards this yellow puddle, Mag is sort of like squinting into this room, the hard light of the Wayfinder like reflecting on the sharp edge of the operating table in front of her, casting like a deep black shadow across the room. There's just like, it's a harsh glare that's reflecting off of this yellow puddle. So it's like, it's gleaming almost white in front of you.
Ooh.
As Ao's mage hand approaches this yellow puddle, first you hear a sizzling sound as its ghostly form pops, and then you hear that hissing sound again, and you realize that it's the sound of whatever this yellow puddle is, like eating away at something slowly. And this yellow puddle seems to notice that it was touched by this mage hand. And it twists around, congealing into a central sort of lump. And then strange pseudopods emerge from that lump and start looking around for something to touch. And you realize as it starts rubbing the floor in front of it, rubbing the shelves in front of it, and so on, that it's getting closer and closer to you, as though it can sense your heart beating in your chest.
Ooh.
As it is drawn to the tremors that you create. And it's at that moment, as this puddle starts creeping up towards you, that the light from Mag's Wayfinder catches something else at a sharper angle on that operating table. And you realize that underneath the operating table, right in front of you, is another of these sickly yellow-green
Jesus.
puddles of slime.
Like pee incarnate.
Yeah.
And it too is whipping its proboscis around, looking for something to hold on to and to suck the life out of.
Do they smell like ammonia?
They smell exactly like the shoes that I just got rid of. Roll for initiative. Yeah.
Roll for initiative. Roll for initiative.
So you're saying they're no longer Shudo, but they're Shuno?
Shuno.
I'll see myself out.
Shoe.
Yeah.
No, you know
guys
what? You're
are
right. Those shoes made me so mad. I'm so pissed off about these stupid shoes. You know what I'm wearing now, guys? I bought Adidas. I'm wearing Adidas like a normal person.
I thought you were going to be like, I've gone barefoot. I'm just one of those people who's barefoot now.
Did you see there was a story in the Times about a guy that goes barefoot and he got like a whole profile piece like he was the Dalai Lama or something.
This is
Like
like
a
back when the
20-page
people who were
profile.
paleo got New York Times articles about them.
Thumbs down on the whole thing. I'm so mad. These shoes smelled they're so stupid.
Oh.
Anyway, let's see how everybody did for initiative as these two barely sentient piles of goo start searching around for something to eat. Robin, how did Trill do?
A respectable 27. My lucky number.
Pretty quick. Pretty quick. David, how did Mag do?
It's just a 12 for Mag, 2 on the die. I imagine that, peering into the like dark, gloomy distance, Mag was just completely caught off guard by something in the foreground.
Yeah, this one thing right next to you potentially
Totally
caught
missed
you
it.
off guard. For sure. Zoe, how did Ao do?
I think she saw the operating tables and felt like this could be a place the process was happening, so she was on high alert and got a 29.
Very quick. So Ao, I'll let you know, is first up on the initiative order. Armad, how did Istin do? Is Istin faring any better? Last time he rolled a 15. How's he doing now?
Well, he's certainly a little bit more alert for this fight. He got an 18 on the die for a 28 total. So I think he's eager to make up for some of the moves last fight brought around.
All right. Here's the situation. The four of you are bunched up in the far eastern end of this 40-foot wide operating or dissection chamber. There are two of these roving puddles of slime. One about 10 feet away from you, one about 30 feet away from you. First up, at the top of round one, it's Ao's turn.
First thing she's going to do is try and see if she knows anything about these.
Yeah, that would be an occultism check. This seems like a strange sort of ooze-like creature. Occultism seems like it is the skill for you. Okay. I just got your blind check. You know this is something called an ochre jelly.
Oh,
Ooh.
sounds tasty.
And I think
I
this
love that
is
color.
this is really valuable that Ao went first and that Ao did this first. Because the main thing you know about ochre jellies is that if they are pierced, if they are slashed, or if they are exposed to electricity, they will bisect and become two ochre jellies.
Oh, that's good to know.
So I'm going to give you a hero point for that.
So this would have not been the fight for Vadim.
I have been spending, not the fight for Vadim, extremely not the fight for Vadim. I've been spending the day imagining that the first move in this fight is Trill casting electric arc on both of these jellies.
That was literally what my plan was until Ao did that
Yeah.
check.
I was
I
getting
could
ready
see
to
it
drop
coming.
my hammer and use the new glaive. 100%.
Ao doing that check and having that knowledge just
We
saved us
now
so
only
much
have 2
heartache.
instead of 4, right?
Massive.
All right.
What kind of damage do arrows do?
Piercing.
Piercing?
That'll
Okay.
split them.
That'll split them. We don't want to do that.
That'll split them.
That will
It's my new game show.
split them.
That'll
But
split them.
with TKP, she could do bludgeoning damage, right?
Yeah.
Realizing this, she whispers quietly because she's still hidden. Don't pierce them or slash them or Trill, don't use electric arc. And
Oh, that's good to
she,
know.
with the flick of her wrist, goes to fling some of the metal shards on the ground, not to slash them, but to big shards to wham into them.
Sure. big blunt pieces of metal. Let's get that TKP.
Say 30.
All right. That beats their AC of 10 by 20. So that's a critical hit.
Can you double crit? Can this be triple damage?
Well, let's see what happens. Why don't you go ahead and roll some damage, please?
This music is dope.
Thank you.
Is this the new music?
Is it new?
It's one that I haven't used a lot because it was set up sort of poorly, and I fixed it, and now I'm using it more again.
It's great.
Thank you.
That is 23 points of damage. I think that's doubled. I'm not sure what's happening.
Well, here's the thing. It's not doubled because this creature is immune to critical hits.
What?
It doesn't have any weak points in its system. It's just a pile of goop.
It's an ochre jelly.
So you go and you slam your telekinetic projectile into it, and you get 15 points of damage through because they also don't take precision damage. So those 2d6 of precision damage that you got in it for it being flat-footed to you from surprise attack doesn't go through either.
I mean, you understand I'm pissed right now, right?
I do.
You get that that's where this is obviously headed, is me being indignant and outraged.
Right,
and,
but think about that bloodletting kukri. Think about the goodwill I generated by giving that to you months
it's
early.
Funny, it's been so long since I've been able to use a weapon up close that I just really wasn't paying attention. So I have a whole weapon I have no idea what to do with, but we'll get there.
Okay, good.
I can't use it now because it slashes, right?
No, well, I mean, you can use it.
Well, but I don't want 4 of these things that take no damage no matter what you do to them.
Doesn't seem like the right
You don't
move.
want that. You know who else doesn't want that is Isthin. It's Isthin's turn as you see a big chunk of metal slam into the jelly in front of you. What are you going to do?
Yeah, right off the bat, he's going to start chanting words that as they come out of his mouth turn into burning runes in the air. And they come out and float up around his head into 4 flame wisps, which incidentally is the spell he's casting, Flame Wisp. So basically what happens with that is whenever he makes a strike during the duration of Flame Wisp, which is a minute, one of the wisps will shoot out from his head and hit the creature he's attacking with a strike, which he will do now. And he's going to strike two-handed with reach at the ochre jelly. And let's see how he does. That is a crit. 18 on the die for a 33.
Another critical hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't take damage.
That is 34 points of damage for the crit. I'm sure it's only going to take...
It's only
Not
going
as
to take
much.
17 points of damage, but you do activate your critical specialization because you have the student of the staff feat, means that you can push this creature 10 feet away from you if you want to.
I will love to do that. And one of the flame wisps will go zipping off towards it for 1 point of fire damage.
Okay. A little bit of fire hits the slime as you knock it across the room. As Isthin creates a little bit of breathing room for the party, it is now Trill's turn.
I'm trying to figure out if I don't want. Please don't make your answer just be do a recall knowledge. But I'm trying to just remember
please do not
from-
do the rules of the game. Sorry, go ahead, Robin.
We've learned before from like what we've already talked about.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these oozes and I'm remembering in the past that monsters like this tend to be mindless. If something were to be mindless, can it be frightened? That's the rule I was trying to remember.
Yeah, so mindless usually means that it's immune to things with mental effects. And I believe the
Okay.
frightened condition is a mental effect. So it's sort of like this game uses these like nested traits. Everything has a trait, et cetera, et cetera. Frightened, the condition does not have the mental effect, but the demoralize action does. So if this creature is mindless, they would be immune to mental, and demoralize would have no effect on it.
And like Dirge of Doom, for example. I'm trying to decide if Dirge of Doom would be wasted.
Dirge of Doom also has the mental effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the mental trait, sorry.
Okay, so you know what? I think Trill is going to make a guess that these types of monsters aren't great at being frightened from our memory, and is instead going to fall back on the good old fashioned inspire courage for everyone. Using lingering heroics and hopefully, what do we end up with? That is a 33 for critical success.
Yay.
Love it.
Thank you,
Does the
Trill.
monster not have some special thing where also critical successes on Inspire Courage don't mean anything? Or
It
have you not
does,
figured out how to
but
cheat that? Yeah.
but I'm just trying to be nice to everybody but you, Zoe. I'm just trying to be mean explicitly to you. Sorry.
Cool. It's working.
It's okay. Good. I'm sorry. So Trill sings an
Okay.
inspiring song and has 2 more actions.
Yes. And with her other 2 actions, Trill's going to look for something in her cantrips that doesn't have a mental effect. And I don't know if that exists. So instead, let's see, that's a mental effect. That's a mental effect. Oh, wait, that's a mental effect.
That's
Trill
a
likes
mental
screwing with
effect.
people's
It's like
minds.
that old Apple advertisement where
my
it's like there's an ad for
gosh.
that, except that's a mental
Seriously.
effect. Not a great ad
You
that
get a
we're
mental
writing right now,
effect.
but it is.
Even Bane.
You get
Okay.
a mental-
Trill's going to go ahead and attempt Ray of Enfeeblement then
Okay.
on these guys.
All right.
I can only target 1 creature, so I'll go for the one that's closest. And that's a 16.
That'll hit. So now they have to make a fortitude
Nice.
save. As this ray of enfeeblement blasts into the slime and the slime tries to resist. I just rolled a 1 on the die, so that is a critical failure, meaning that this slime is now enfeebled 3. So the strength drains out of this
Nice.
slime
Wow.
as Trill saps all of its strength.
Gotcha.
And as that slime gets weakened, the slime behind it will sludge across the room slowly, moving around and underneath the operating tables to try to approach. And it's going to take all of its movement to get across the room to the point where it is in Iston's face and in Mag's face. That's it for its actions. Now, the weakened of these slimes...
Does Mag get an attack of opportunity? on
I
that,
didn't
or
mean
not
to
yet
do it,
because I haven't
dude,
gone
but
in
I
initiative order?
did I yes, it moved. Yeah, it did. It moved past you and it absolutely triggers an AOO from you. No question.
It's the
Love
first
it.
time that's ever been the answer.
Nice.
You know why it is? Because he's just trying to be mean to
Just
me.
trying to be mean to Zoe. Sorry, it's Thursday. That's be mean to Zoe day. It's on the calendar.
Yeah.
He doesn't make these rules.
I don't make the
Wait,
rules.
could I just hear
It's in the core rule book.
you, Lars? Could I just hear you say it again?
Absolutely. It slides right by you, not paying any attention to you, not putting up any kind of defense whatsoever.
So I get to hit it.
And you do get to hit it. It's true.
I hit it. I hit it with my hammer.
All right, hit it with your hammer,
You're
dude.
so joyful. It's so cute.
That is 26.
That 26 is a critical hit.
Another crit.
Dang, these things are
However, they are immune to critical damage, as we know.
Doesn't matter.
So that would have been 30.
Instead, it's going to be 15.
Do I get those critical do I get the my crit stuff from all my runes?
Yeah,
and
you
my
do. Tell me
weapon
what
and
what that crit stuff is, please, friend.
Well, Lars, because it has a crushing rune, the target becomes clumsy 1, enfeebled 1, and because it is a maul, the critical specialization for that is that it is knocked prone.
And what prone means for this slime is that you just knock it in a way that it's twisting, trying to get back into a place where it can attack effectively. So that winds up being 15 points of damage, and Mag messes it up badly.
We're a pretty good party for fighting these things. I guess at least with the benefit of that with that incredible recall knowledge.
Yeah.
The recall knowledge was so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna mop
Yeah.
these things up.
I have this image of like yellow colored jelly being dropped on the floor, just describing what Mag just did to that thing.
Yeah.
So the weakened the jelly that's been weakened by Trill's ray of enfeeblement slides across the floor, swishing back and forth as it advances upon all of you. and it stops right in front of Mag.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
No, you have one reaction in your turn.
I know. I just felt like I should ask you because you were going to say no. I don't know. It just seemed like the thing to do.
That's just what you're into.
It's nice to let you say no sometimes, Lars.
Yeah.
So this creature is going to be enfeebled for an entire minute, so that sucks for me. But this ooze comes up towards you and just swings a pseudopod out at Mag. It's a 16 to hit.
Nope, not going to do it.
And that's it for this creature's actions. As we get to finally Mag's turn. Mag, greeted by a tidal wave of yellow slime, shoving these operating tables up into the air, lifting them away as it advances on you. What is Mag going to do?
Mag is, having already attacked once this fight without doing so, she will go ahead and rage. Rage, baby, rage. Staring at this wall of yellow translucent horror. And then, let's see, which of these things is more... I guess the one that just came up and attacked her, she is going to strike back at it. That's a 19 on the die. 35 is going to be another crit.
Yes, that of course is a crit, as Mag flips this one like a pancake as well, doing how much damage?
Would have been 38, so I guess 19.
And what extra nonsense happens to them?
Yeah, sorry, just a quick refresher from before. It becomes clumsy one, enfeebled one, and it is knocked prone.
Mag's got two more actions as this slime starts twisting around, frantically trying to get itself into a place where it can maneuver correctly.
Just one action, the rage and the attack.
Okay,
so I don't want to...
One more action left, please.
So having critted and done what she can to both of them, I think Mag will, hit the same one again. I suppose. Yeah, that's fine. So, with the first maul strike having crushed downward, she pivots and sweeps through again, clockwise against it, and that's a 24. Is that still a crit?
A crit against its AC of 7, now that you flipped it over and clumsified it? Yes, that's definitely a crit.
7. Right. I don't know. Is any of us capable of rolling below a 7 at this point?
All right, that'd be Mag's not. That'd be a 46 damage.
Christ.
So that's only 23 points of damage, as the critical strike does not do. You don't find any weak points in it, and you flip it back over, and now it's not prone anymore. Just kidding. That's not how it works. Okay. At the top of round 2, cool. The 4 of you are penned against this door to this operating chamber, this dissection chamber, by 2 large teeming masses of slime trying to grab a hold of you to digest your bodies, but they are flipping around. They're twisting all over the place. It's not good for them. It's Ao's turn.
Ao is going to TKP the one on the left. No, she's not hidden anymore, right?
She's not hidden anymore. But flat-footed doesn't get you much of anything anyway, because they're immune to precision damage.
Right, no, of course. So she's just at a flick of her wrist, she goes to TKP this thing with another big piece of metal.
So what's happening is the party is just trying to launch as many large objects into this creature, whether it's a maul, whether it's a piece of metal, whatever it is, just trying to bash this thing apart as it comes after them.
That is unfortunately a critical hit. 20 on the die.
20 on the die, 33, definitely a crit. Go ahead and roll that damage, please.
Do I get a crit card?
You do get a crit card.
Where's my jingle? You know?
Sorry, I forgot about crit cards.
You're not sorry. That's the point.
You're right, I'm not sorry. Nice,
you were so frustrated by the fumble card from last game that you didn't even think about our crit cards.
Well, Zoe...
I was going to say, where were these rolls last week?
Where were they? Really? Zoe, Merry Christmas. Call of the Wild. Triple damage to animals, beasts, and fae. Double damage to all other creatures. This card don't do a damn thing to this slime.
Hold on.
Hold the front door.
Do we have... I feel like there was a hero point card for if you had a... No, I don't think we have that one right now. Like if you got a crit card that deprived you of damage, you should have...
But that's not the scenario. It gave you damage. It's just your damage is garbage.
Well, I don't... Anyways, we don't have the hero point card anyways. I was doing it on principle. Okay. That is 19 points of damage.
And they're going to resist the precision damage, so they'll take a little bit less than that. But Ao's got one more action.
She zings it with Foxfire.
A little foxy zinger. Let's see how that goes.
15.
Somehow that's not a crit. Yes, but that does hit with the Foxfire.
11 points of damage.
And again, the precision damage doesn't go through, so 5 more points of damage as a chunk of metal and then a bit of kitsune fire rains down onto this ooze and is now badly injured. It's Isthen's turn.
Cool. And he is going to launch right into a spell strike. He will chant, Ro ka flip mill. And fire will burst out along his staff as he brings it down in a crushing blow against the badly injured ochre jelly.
So let's talk about Spell Strike, because this is the first time, 8 episodes in on Isthen, this is the first time we're really getting one of these. I'm assuming this is going to hit. Let's see if you roll a 1. Never mind. I'm not. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Bite your tongue.
Yeah, sorry.
Right. 25.
Okay, so that's a critical hit.
Awesome.
And how does Spell Strike work? Tell me about Spell Strike.
So basically, it combines your strike and a offensive spell, and it combines it into one attack, basically. And so the damage comes out as 12 fire damage.
So Isthen, like, you're slamming your staff forward and also channeling a spell through it. So the bludgeoning and the fire happens simultaneously with 2 actions.
Yes. And because I have Flame Wisp prepared, it also takes a 1d4 of flame from the Flame Wisp.
To how many points of damage from the Produce Flame?
12 points of damage from the Produce Flame. And it will also take 3d4 persistent fire damage.
Woo!
So the slime catches fire as Isthen's staff connects with it. And then how much damage from the staff itself?
34.
34. Again, that's going to be half damage as it resists 17 of those points of damage. And what about that critical specialization? You want to push this ooze?
I definitely want to push the ooze.
Push the ooze.
Push the ooze. Push the ooze.
So you push it 10 feet away from you.
Query.
And the answer to David's query is no.
What?
A force movement does not prompt an attack of opportunity. That's why the wording is always like, and you move during a move action or whatever.
So that's what Maguses can do.
That's what Maguses can do. All at once, Isthen slams this creature, lights it on fire, pushes it away from him, and it is very close to death as that happens. And I'm going to give you a hero point.
Oh.
Thank you.
And it's mainly because what I'm trying to capture with this hero point is the idea of
That was dope.
Isthen has been struggling, and finally there's this brilliant moment where it's just like, bam! Fire bursts out of the room, like out of your staff. This wisp flies at it. It catches fire. It flies across the room. It's a huge moment. How's Isthen
I think we'd
feeling?
all be pretty surprised.
Pretty good. Also, because he cast a fire spell, he gets a new wisp that flickers above his head, floating.
So 3 wisps flicker above your head.
And then with his last action, I'm going to try and trip the other ochre jelly, because I can do that with my staff.
So your staff
sorry.
has the trip trait.
I'm going to use the parry trait on my staff instead to increase his AC.
It's
by
just
1.
as well because the ooze was already tripped.
Ah, perfect.
Capital.
How many times can you trip an ooze?
It's really how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. I mean,
Jesus.
Word.
So essentially what you're doing is you're setting up your staff to set up a defensive sort of parrying stance. It is now Trill's turn.
Trill's quite impressed with what just happened. Looks kind of over and it's like,
Oh, I guess getting smacked in the head by Mag helped.
Trill's gonna target the barely injured one, kind of at that top corner of it.
Yeah.
In hoping that the splash damage from that will smack up the near death one. That is a 17.
That 17 is a critical hit.
It's hilarious.
And that is 11 points of damage with 1 point of splash damage.
Okay, that 1 point of splash damage is going to hit both Isthin and Mag.
I think that 1 point's okay.
And sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
the 11 points of damage is going to do nothing to this ooze because this ooze is immune to acid damage.
Oh, bummer. So this is a 3rd level cantrip.
Correct.
So at heightened, it says the initial damage increase and so that there should be persistent damage.
Yes.
But because it's acid damage, the persistent damage doesn't do anything.
Yeah. I'm not going to bother tracking the persistent damage, but it does exist in a sort of Schrodinger's cat kind of way.
You know, I took a risk with the acid splash. For some reason, the fact that it's a yellow ooze, I was kind of worried that it might be immune to acid. It seemed kind of acidy, but...
I think it was a good risk. And if you had done it, maybe you would... If it had worked, you could have potentially knocked out the other one at the same time. Absolutely worth a shot.
Yeah, so I guess with Trill's last action, there ain't much she can do, in all honesty. So I think she's going to Actually, no, she's going to aid Mag. She's going to aid Mag so that Mag can do some serious bludgeoning damage.
With some performance?
With a cheerful song.
All right.
She can dance around.
So Trill sets up for a cheerful song.
Ooze. Push the ooze.
As the ooze.
Bludgeon the ooze! Bludgeon the ooze!
As the ooze in Isthin and Mag's face
Bludge the ooze. Hey.
flops over to unprone itself. Now, David, that's a move action I just took.
Yeah, I just don't feel like it.
Wait, I don't understand this bit anymore.
yeah. I would, Lars, would you do me the honor
Sure.
of it being smashed by me now?
Of course I would.
You gotta draw.
Nice.
Never have we rolled better in a fight that mattered less.
These are the best
happening
dice
right
we
now.
have ever rolled, and we need them not at all.
That's so funny.
Okay. This is called And Stay Down. Normal damage, but who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Crit effect, the target is knocked prone again. So it tries to right itself, and you're like, bam! You smack into it and knock it prone once more. And it's stunned too.
Oh.
Let's get that damage roll.
I'd just like to say for the record that although it doesn't actually affect the damage, because I wouldn't have got the crit damage anyway, that still pisses me off.
Okay, good. As long as everybody's mad about something.
Yeah, 17 damage.
Okay, 17 damage. I'm going to give you a pointless bit of rule stuff here. Getting stunned on your own turn, it's one of these things that people are like, I think it means this, I think it means that. It's something where I believe the rules as written and the rules as intended do not line up. The way that it would work rules as written is I lose my 2 actions this turn, then I gain actions next turn, and I lose 2 more. I think that that's preposterous. So I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna run it just that it loses its 2 remaining actions on this turn. So essentially, Mag slams into it and it stops moving for a second as it tries to get its bearings back, or as it tries to just start moving again, and it loses its remaining 2 actions and is now not stunned anymore. Okay.
Right.
Now, the other ooze, the very badly injured one, rushes across the ground to try to extend a pseudopod towards Mag, trying to eat Mag's sweet flesh.
And do I get an attack of opportunity?
No, you already used... Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, right. You only get 1.
Is there a feat that gives you 2 attack of opportunities?
Yeah. There are ways to get
Level
multiple.
10, I think.
Whoa!
So I just rolled a 14 to hit you.
Nope. Not going to do it.
And that's 1 more pseudopod strikeout towards Mag. I'm just looking for that 20. It's a 14 to hit again.
Also, not going to do it.
At the end of this slime's turn, they're going to take only 4 points of fire damage, which is enough for it to go up in smoke as its particulate matter dissolves thanks to Isthin's fiery attack.
Bye-bye.
So he really finished that thing off.
It's now Mag's turn.
Mag will start by moving to the far side of the remaining glob of ooze to flank it with Isthin. So I move. Do I get an attack of opportunity? So I'll go ahead and action number 2 is going to be another maul strike.
Trill's gonna play a jaunty tune to see if she can support you, and that's just a 19.
So no harm, no foul on that. The tune is nice, but does not get into Mag's soul.
Well, Mag crits it anyway, because everything crits it anyway. So it's a 26 on the attack, and the damage is 52.
Oh.
26 damage to the ooze. Would be knocked prone. It's already prone. Would be made clumsy and enfeebled. It's already clumsy and enfeebled.
Okay,
Silly.
but it's still up.
It's still up.
But like in its heart, does it feel worse?
Yes. In the heart that it is currently digesting, it feels worse.
Right.
In some dude's heart.
Some other dude's heart feels worse.
And I know that there's people like that like you could be playing this game and be like, oh, I want all my turns to be different. I don't want to do the same thing all the time. But my thing is hitting it overhead.
You're not playing
with a
that class.
two-handed
You're
hammer.
playing the hit them class.
And I just want to keep hitting it.
Everybody else is
it
playing
again.
the class that lets you just do that thing over and over again,
And I'm
basically.
so happy. I'm thank
You're
you
welcome.
all.
Very cathartic,
You're
isn't it?
Thank you all so
I hope
much.
you're enjoying this, David.
I am. That one's only a 17, and it's still a crit.
Well, that one is in fact only a crit because of Trill's Inspire Courage. So although the aid didn't help you there, her inspiring words still fill your heart with vengeance.
Knock them down. Knock them down.
36 damage.
At the top of round 3, the situation has changed. There is now only one ooze in this room, and it is surrounded by you. You've currently knocked it about halfway down, and it is now Ao's turn.
Ao TKPs it again. It's a 19.
And that is a critical hit because of the Inspire Courage.
Hey,
to hear it.
let's call it 26 points of damage, of which it'll take 4 because it's me.
It'll take 15 because it's you.
And then she foxfires it again. Oh, well, that's a 1 on the die.
A fumble card because you fumbled hard.
Okay, guys, I designed a new fumble deck for this game. Let's talk about it.
Thank God.
It's a
So
deck
we're
of
not
cards.
going to confuse AO.
No, we're not. It's a deck of cards. 50, true through ace, 4 suits. I'm going to draw one of these cards. And essentially what's going to happen is something bad is going to happen to you that will persist until you take an action to make it not happen to you anymore. Okay?
All right.
We'll go into more detail. We're just seeing if this works. We're just trying something out new. Here at Tabletop Gold, we are innovators in the world of actual play podcasting. We've got our own deck. Nobody else has this.
Cutting edge.
Cutting edge. This is a 6 of clubs. What this means is that you have to tell me why you are fatigued 1 because of something that happened below you.
Literally below me.
Yes, below your feet, something happened that is fatiguing you.
Ao turned into Norman before, which caused her to put shoes on. And now she's still wearing the shoes. She forgot to take them off, and she fucking hates shoes. So she's getting a blister.
So as this foxfire goes wild, you realize, there's something, it's this blister on your foot. You can spend an action on a later turn to massage that blister to remove the fatigued condition from yourself.
Take those shoes the hell off those feet.
Not to do it.
I really like this.
Good. I'm glad
I
you
don't like
it.
that you're fatigued, but I like the
No, it
method
seems
now of
better
things.
than what happened last time.
It is now Isthin's turn as Ao is made weary by her paws.
He'll take an action, recharge his spell strike, and then do a spell strike with produce flame again.
Cool.
Taking
Worked
inspiration
pretty well last time.
from Mag.
Oh wow, that's so many dice.
I was going to
Cool.
say, he rolls so many dice when he does whatever he's doing.
Whatever it is that's happening happens, it's wild.
18 to hit.
That's a critical hit because of the fact that Mag flipped this creature over.
Awesome. 20 points of crit damage. and 13 points of fire damage. And 1 point of flame damage from the flame wisp.
Okay, so that does catch this ooze on fire. So that's a total of 10 damage from the strike, 13 damage from the fire, 1 damage from the wisp, and this thing is now whoosh, immolated. It is now Trill's turn, as Trill feels the warmth pouring off of this burning pile of sludge.
Good vocab word, immolated.
Thank you.
So, knowing that most of her spells have to have mental effects, and still not wanting to attempt that after the useless acid splash, Trill's just going to go back to the tried and true magic missile with its force damage.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
Its force seems to be okay.
So you're doing a 3-action deal here?
Yeah, 3 action first, but first level because of the very low spell slots.
So essentially you're doing a d4 plus 1 damage 3 times. So you can roll 3d4 plus 3.
That is 9, 10, 11, 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right, good damage rolls as, force damage, as 12 points of force damage fly across the room, peppering this slime. And now, it's time for the ooze to launch its counterattack. It's game over for all of you as the ooze extends a pseudopod towards Mag! 17.
Nope.
Extends the pseudopod towards Mag!
Does it have to stand up first?
Also, it should have been pushed on my crit.
Should have been.
We can-
you gotta tell me.
we can leave it
You gotta
off.
tell
Yeah,
me
yeah.
things.
Too late.
Doesn't it have to stand up to hit me?
No, it's just taking a penalty.
Oh, okay, all right.
Goop. Just gooping you.
It's
Well,
just gooping
anyway,
ya.
20 also doesn't
20.
do it.
Okay, it's not standing up. It's just frantically trying to eat Mag, denying her an attack of opportunity. 12 to hit.
Critical miss.
Okay, it's Mag's turn. No, never mind. I'm on fire. I take 6 points of damage.
Oh, right.
I live.
No,
Okay.
never mind. I'm on fire.
See if I'm still on fire as I roll a recovery check. I'm still on fire. I rolled a 6. It's Mag's turn.
Mag cuts it in half with the hatchet.
No!
Nice.
All right. Yeah, let's
Does
just
that
go
also
ahead.
cut in half its hit points?
Yes.
Oh.
So if you have fireball, the strategy is slice them up and then blow them all up simultaneously. Isn't that fun?
That's cool.
That is fun.
It's not two that are the same size as the original one. It halves it like by.
It has the hit
Very
points, yeah.
cool.
I suddenly really missed that fireball necklace that Trill
I
had.
don't miss that even a little bit.
33 to hit.
That's going to be a critical hit, David.
Congratulations.
50 damage.
Okay. 25 damage. No, it's just 2. They had 2 hit points left. And guys, as this final of the 2 jellies falls, you look around this dissection chamber and you look up and you see 3 holes in the ceiling that line up perfectly with where those 3 operating tables were in the room where you fought the Morlock Spectre. You realize that whatever experimentation was happening up there has something to do with what is happening down here. And we will pick up from there next time.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way, and we are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in The Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. On our website, tabletopgold.com, you can learn more about us and our shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.